Words matter. How we use them can build us up
Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something.
or tear us down.
Get out of our country!
That's why during this frightening pandemic, it's important how we identify the disease that has killed so many. It has a name. In fact, several. COVID, COVID-19, coronavirus, the novel coronavirus. But it is not this.
The Chinese virus.
These words coming from the White House have a terrible byproduct.
Go back to whatever Asian country you belong in.
Asian piece of
Oh my God.
From Los Angeles to New York and in between, people are being assaulted by fellow Americans simply because they are Asian.
Kung flu. Yeah.
A comment like this gives this crisis a face. In a 2-week period in March, when we were just beginning to understand how difficult life was going to be, a study found the president chose to publicly call it the Chinese virus 20 times. Add to that the Kung flu, the China virus, the Chinese flu, and the Wuhan virus. The deliberateness of his wording became clear with this photo of his speech where he crossed out Corona, replacing it with Chinese. Hits like a sledgehammer.
Someone came up from behind, yelled a racial epithet at them, and then punched this 8-month pregnant mom in the face.
An 89-year-old Chinese-American grandmother in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, who was lit on fire by 2 suspects.
Journalists see it every day. Sifan Kim in New York City and Nidia Han in Philadelphia can rattle off case after case of hate towards Asians. And Dion Lim in San Francisco, a city where a huge percentage of the population is Asian, says it's an overwhelming problem.
Now, let me put it this way. In the past 5 reporting days, I've had 5 stories of xenophobia and hate toward Asian Americans.
What Dion says is accurate. According to Stop AAPI Hate, 2,700 cases of assaults against Asians have been reported during the pandemic. Almost half, 46%, in California. But this isn't new. Our history is littered with chapters of isolation and hate towards Asians.
The Chinese Exclusion Act was the first and actually still the only law ever passed that banned immigration of a particular nationality or racial group.
Civil rights attorney Karen Wang reminds us of how Chinese have long been vilified. In the 1880s, this country was expanding, and we invited them to help us build. Yet, we hated them for being here.
Once they were here, they were being told that they were actually not welcome and that they were viewed as less than human, less than equal with other people.
In very human terms, Asians are being bullied.
I probably have spent my entire professional career trying to wrestle with those inner demons as a child, where you are harassed and bullied as a child, and then you don't know what to make of it and how to respond to it.
If you are that person who looks different, you could probably relate, as do these courageous reporters who face the possibility of being bullied every day just for doing their jobs.
Racial slur was hurled at me. In fact, the quote was, "Come here, Chinky, let me give you a little bit of Corona."
That I should die because I caused the virus, or that how do I have a right to report on these issues when I am the cause myself?
I worry especially about my 80-year-old father as he's walking the streets alone, and I find myself holding on to my kids' hands a little more tightly.
Why do you keep calling this the Chinese virus? Because a lot of people say it's racist.
It's not racist at all, no, not at all. It comes from China.
Asian Americans have done nothing wrong, nor do they have anything to do with this virus. Yet, hateful people across the country are choosing to blame them for our crisis. It has gone from being a war against a disease to a war against a race. We cannot allow ourselves to become the bully. Words matter.